Hello and welcome back to another Motors.co.uk in the know video. I'm James Batchelor, I'm a journalist and I've tested cars and have helped car buyers for the past 10 years for some of the biggest brands in the business, both in print and on YouTube. Today I'm answering some questions sent in by Motors.co.uk users. Okay, first question is, hi, I'm looking for a used car, ideally in good condition and with no more than 80,000 miles on the clock and for less than £1,400. I'd like it to be economical on fuel and have cheap road tax too. What would you recommend? Well, now this part of the market is very popular. It always is, and especially so over the past 12 months because of the coronavirus pandemic. And for this kind of money, you're going to be looking at small city cars. Three of the best are the Citroen C1, the Peugeot 107 and the Toyota Aygo. The good news is they're all pretty identical. And you can easily get hold of these for less than £1,400 and with less than 80,000 miles on the clock. Having said that though, I'd actually go for the Toyota out of those three cars, purely because the Aygo was bought, well, it tended to be bought by more mature buyers, and that can sometimes translate into the car being better looked after compared to the Citroen and the Peugeot models, which were loved by students and first-time drivers. Now, the Aygo comes with two 1-litre petrol engines. Both of them are Group 1 insurance, and both of them will return in the 60 mpg mark. Servicing is also pretty cheap compared to other city cars, and doesn't matter which version of the Aygo you go for, it'll cost no more than £20 a year in VED or road tax. So hopefully that helps. Next question. Hi, could you please tell me the pros and cons of a hybrid, e.g. Jazz hybrid? Well, it's a very popular question at the moment, understandably, as we are racing towards a future which will consist of hybrids and pure electric cars. Now, in recent years, a number of hybrids have been launched: mild, full hybrid and plug-in hybrid. They all have different uses, but their pros and cons are pretty much the same, actually. Let's focus on the most common type of hybrid, a full hybrid, or it's sometimes called a self-charging hybrid. And this is what the Honda Jazz hybrid is. Now, the biggest advantage with a hybrid is in normal driving, you will get better fuel economy compared to a regular petrol engine. And that's simply because the car will be using less petrol, because the car will be prioritising running on electric. Now, hybrids can also be cheaper to tax because, according to official tests, they emit less carbon dioxide. Now, the disadvantages of hybrids are they can be more expensive to buy, and depending on which type of hybrid you actually buy, they can be slower to accelerate. Their performance can be not quite so good as a petrol car. But if you're a fan of driving a car with a manual gearbox, almost all full hybrids and plug-in hybrids come with an automatic or a CVT gearbox. So hopefully that's cleared that up for you. Last question. Hello, James. I'm thinking of replacing my Jaguar X-Type estate with a car that is of equal length. I have to have a car that can carry grandfather clocks, which can be up to 2.3 metres long. Unfortunately, I haven't got the money to get another second-hand Jaguar, and so I've been looking at the Mazda 6 Tourer, the Volvo V70 and V60, and the Toyota Avensis Sports Tourer. I'm unsure as to whether the Citroen Berlingo or Fiat Doblo are long enough for this. Which of the four options is better for my purposes, and any downsides with the models? Now, let's start off with the three estates that you've chosen. The Mazda 6 it's a really good estate car, but as the name suggests, it's a Tourer, and it's not a very spacious estate car with quite a low roofline to it. But it's much the same story with the Toyota Avensis Sports Tourer as well. Now that has a 529 litre boot. It's dependable, and being a Toyota, it's very reliable, but it's not much fun to drive. Now the Volvo V60 has an even smaller boot than those two cars at 430 litres. That's if you go for the 2011 to 2018 model. If you go for the current V60, you get a much bigger 529 litres. But the V70 is the winner here on boot space. It has a 575 litre boot, not the biggest in the class by any stretch, but the biggest of the cars that you are considering. And that's before you folded down the rear seats. The front passenger seat can also be folded for extra flexibility, particularly good if you're loading those grandfather clocks. It's a safe and it's a very dependable and still a classy choice of car. So the V70 would be the car I'd go for. As regards to the small MPVs, like the Citroën Berlingo and the Fiat Doblo, there is a lot more space. There is no doubt about it. The Doblo, for instance, has 790 litres of space before you folded down the rear seats. Once you've done that, you've got over 3,000 litres of space. Much bigger than all of those estate cars that you've mentioned. The Doblo and the Berlingo are also much taller than those cars as well. But essentially, they are vans with windows. They are all based off of vans. So, consequently, that's how they drive. They're perfect workhorses, but they lack the comfort and the premium feel of the V70. So it really does come down to you. If you want outright space, go for a Doblo or a Berlingo. But if you still want plenty of space inside, but for the car to feel much more like a car and comfortable, I'd go for the V70. Well, hopefully those answers are of some use to you. If you'd like my advice on your next car, then click the link below in the description and I'll be very happy to help you. Until next time, thanks very much for watching and bye-bye.